Hold up.
Hey SMU crew, today I'm going to show you how I get everything done in a day. My day starts between 7 and 9. I wish it was more 7, but it's mostly 9 a.m. every single day. And just to give you a little bit of reference, I have 3 kids, a husband, big families on either side, friends that we like to hang out with, and did I already mention 2 businesses with teams both in person and virtually? Pretty cool. So my day begins usually around 9 a.m. I wish I could say it was around 7 every day, but I usually wake up and the very first thing that I like to do, depending on what time I wake up, is dive into some things that get me ahead on my day. Sometimes that looks like work. We're currently decorating the office for this really, really cool giveaway that we're putting together. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, hey, Mom. Hey. My mom is the mastermind behind all of decorations. I don't have an eye for decor or design, so I trust the experts to do those things for me. But one of the very first things that I do is I think about, like, what can I do in this morning to get myself set up for the day. And if I do wake up at 7, it's cool because I follow Hal Elrod's Savers formula, which is silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise. I don't really follow that part, but reading and scribing, which means writing in your journal. I do like to follow that as much as I can, and then I also get to spend some time with my kids in the morning, which is also awesome. But normally I wake up at 9 after our oldest has already gone to school, and so it's time usually to dive on in. We start our day with an agency meeting. Every single day my agency touches base, whether it's for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes, and we talk about our clients and where everything is at. That's the very first thing that I do. But I want to share with you guys why I get so much done in a day. And if you're thinking, well, it's easy for you now, Rachel, because you have a team. I don't take on less just because we have a team. We've actually probably 10x'd our workload over the last couple years as our team has grown. So yes, I do have team in place, but yes, we're taking on bigger and bigger projects and more responsibilities all the time. But even if you think back to when I was a freelancer or when I was just working with my sister in the agency, and it was just a 2-man show at that time, I always have had this idea that you can get a lot more done in a day than you think you can. And part of that process starts with blocking out your days. So if you look at my day, we'll see if we can get this in focus. If you look at my day, almost everything is completely blocked out. There's very little time that is unaccounted for. And that is absolutely intentional. We block everything out for a reason. And what we do is there's another thing that is a part of my secret formula for getting everything done. And this is a game changer. I've talked about it before and I'll talk about it again. And that is my to-do list. My to-do list is 24/7. We're always updating it. We're always making sure I have tabs on everything that needs to happen, both today, next week, this month, and this year, as crazy as that sounds. Now, the cool part about having a team touch base every single morning is I'm able to delegate a lot of the things more recently. It took me a while to understand delegation, but I also am speaking to before I had a team in place. The to-do list was everything. Without a to-do list, there's no way that you are going to achieve things throughout your day. But whether you do it digitally or on paper, you need to be keeping track. You need to check boxes off, or you need to highlight things that you have completed. If you don't, you have no way of knowing at the end of the day, did I actually move the needle today? So you always should be going back to your to-do list and seeing, like, how did I perform today? How did everything look? Let's see if we can get this set up so I can share with you a couple more things with my hands, because I like to talk with my hands. A couple more ways that I get so much done in a day is I personally have this belief that many of us waste little pockets of time throughout our day, whether it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whether it's when you're driving to go to a soccer game, when your husband is driving to go to a soccer game and you are in the passenger seat. What can you be doing during that time to make sure that you're fully present when you're at the soccer game? So I have this deep-seated belief in always making sure that you're doing stuff that's moving things forward. Don't waste time. Don't think that just because you only have half an hour doesn't mean you couldn't do something massive. I have done a lot with those 5, 15, 30-minute pockets that have been absolute game changers for my business. So I want you to start to analyze your time and look at like, what am I not completing in that time that I could be quick sliding in? And a great way to do this is to start thinking, okay, what things can I do in 5 minutes? What things can I do in 15 minutes? What things can I do in 30 minutes that ultimately help me throughout the day to get more done? The other thing as well is I think we spend a lot of time wasting time on social media. It's hard because our jobs are on social, so we're always there. And it can be really easy to find yourself sucked into a vortex of videos and conversations and even fights online. Instead, I challenge you to always be referring back to your to-do list and look at it each hour and be like, what did I accomplish this hour? Did we move the needle forward? That's a huge part of what I do. Another thing that is a part of how I get everything done in a day is multitasking. I know that not everyone can multitask, but I personally love to multitask. So if I'm going to be doing any type of project, I am listening to podcasts while I'm also doing that. I'm listening to Audible books. I'm watching YouTube videos, and I have a big screen, which is awesome because I can put a YouTube video on one side and my work on the other side, so I can go back and forth between the two. Another thing that's really important in order to get so much done in a day is recognizing which things you need to say no to. This is one of the hardest things, okay? I'm just being honest with you. Saying no is one of the most powerful things you can do to move your business forward, because suddenly it allows you to say yes to the things you want to say yes to. The very first things I started saying no to included laundry and cleaning our house. So before we felt like we were ready, we hired some help around the house in order to free me up of the laundry that took me hours every single week. And then from there, I've always looked at things and I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I need to do this? Would it be beneficial? Do I have a relationship with this person? And if the answer isn't yes, it's a no. Saying no is really, really powerful. So start to look at your time and say, what am I saying yes to that I shouldn't be saying yes to? And I'm wasting time doing that. Another thing I noticed as well is that a lot of people take 1 hour lunch breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. But I personally don't like to spend an hour sitting and looking at my food. I personally would rather gobble my food down while I'm working and then use that time for something better. Something that either fuels my business or moves the needle forward in my personal life or allows me to have fun and bond with my team. So instead of formal lunch breaks, we all gobble our lunches down and then we all play Mario Kart together, because it's a great way for us to quick reset our brains, get going for the rest of the day. How else do I get so much done in a day? This is a big one. And it is to be realistic about how much you can take on in any given day. Many times I take on too many big things, when if I were to just focus on one thing at a time, it would be a lot easier for me to complete that one thing. And when I started to realize that I needed to focus on one project versus flipping through 17 different tabs trying to find which was the tab I was about to work on, it was a lot easier for me to finish projects up. Let's finish this one to completion tonight. Then we can focus on the next project for tomorrow. One of the things that also was really helpful for me to get so much done in a day was to hire a full-time nanny. Now, we're fortunate in that our nanny is also my husband's mom, my mother-in-law. So the kids get to spend time with their grandma, and we get to put the money that we would normally be paying a stranger to ultimately go towards their grandma, and she's paid to love them and take care of them. But childcare was something that was a non-negotiable to me. I've tried to be at home with my kids before, and it was really, really hard for me to get as much done as I wanted to get done in a day. I'm not saying I could never do it, but if you're someone who's like, you know what, I think that's me. I think that I would actually rather focus on work during the day. You might want to start out with bringing someone in 1 day a week, or even just a couple hours a week, or a couple hours a day, just to help you out so that you're able to focus completely on the work at hand. Those are a couple of the ways that I get so much done in a day. If you want to learn more about this, comment below and ask your specific questions, and me or my assistant Kellyanne or some of my team members are going to answer them, because they sometimes see my life in a different way, which is kind of cool. So I hope this training has been helpful for you. I'll see you guys later, SMU.